if I was a millionaire and I ran a company, we could have solved it quickly, but you only came when? When did you come?
A month ago.
I think so.
Less than a month.
It's probably a month, if not a little bit more.
A month, and you, if you were dealing with a business person who had profit, then you could have moved me over the head, but you are not dealing with the business person. You are dealing just simply with the terrorist. Now you start. I can understand the way you have been frustrated by Shaka and Joe, but you can't put us in the same group. We are not. We are different. We are, in typical terms, part of the party apparatus, and we are democrats. In other words, bureaucrats. If you want to build a relationship with us, that's not fine. I can understand you have pressures. That's not fine. I said I want to work with you, not because of
What?
That doesn't help me in my now. That's the reality.
Look, I told Neville, I cannot depend on these other processes. It's not working. So I'm starting my own process.
What does that mean? Because I don't want to have any
No,
miscommunications.
I've started talking to other people. I've had 2 meetings now before we came, asking if they can help. But to fast track the process, my deal I'm putting on the table, because it is becoming more difficult for the ANC to respond. I'm in the thick of things, I can tell you, it's very tough. Quickest I can solve the problem is we agree on 1M. I think we can't deal with the whole thing.
So if I agree to 1M, when do I get it?
No, you see now. Yes. Where were you made that? I don't want to be made where you were made. Look, I've just started. Because I don't want to be. I'm now taking responsibility. I was depending on Joe to deliver. It's not coming. So I'm now talking. At least, let's say, until the end of this month. You know, he'll tell you it's becoming more and more difficult. Until we turn a chapter, which we're trying to do, it's going to be more and more difficult for us to read. But I've cut out all the middle people. I want to deal with it myself. Then at least I know when you fight, you're fighting me for legit. Not because I'm dependent on other people. So end of the month. But I want a clean break, 1M. That's it. And we do a proper write-up, sign off. Did you come with Uber? Did you come with Uber?
I can't afford Uber.
No.
So how did you come?
How did you come?
I came with my car,
No, so I must
which is
still
on
pay you-
fumes.
I must still pay you petrol.
Yes.
I promised I'll do it. Can we agree on that? So you give me, if I get it before the 30th, so be it. But I want at least, because now I'm talking to people. And you know you get 2 here, you get 1 here, you get 50 there. That's the quickest I can solve it. Because sometimes if you ask somebody 1M or 500, that's where you run into problems. So I'm just meeting lots of people. They're all giving.
So will I have that commitment in writing?
Yeah, I'll put it in writing also. But you must also sign,
That's
not
fine.
just me.
Okay.
So you must stop recording us.
I don't record you. I record Joseph because he lies so much.
Listen, I was also like,
Huh?
You said I was on phone line.
No, you lied, but you lied to me on the phone.
No, I didn't.
No,
I
yes, you
said to
did.
you,
You said, I said to
I was
you,
with them when I called.
and yes, and then you said to me, "Can we meet?" And I said, "But meet what for?" And you said, "No, don't worry, it's good news. I must tell you in person." Those were your words.
Can you prepare that letter?
Can we sign it now?
Yeah, so you difficult, huh?
It's hard. I can't take it easy. I've got to do what I got to do. You would do the same.
Nah,
In my shoes, yes, you would.
I'm made from different stuff. I almost died 9 times in this country fighting for freedom. I know what it is. I will die for you, but you won't die for me. I can tell you that. I've been in serious, I don't want to talk about it, serious battles. I was on death row, my dad, going to hell. So I'm a different. You see, material things doesn't even bother me. I could be a multi-millionaire now if I've agreed on various things, but it doesn't bother me. What matters is what we make of this country.
What are we making of this country? Because I know
There's a lot.
most South Africans are freaking out.
Not most South Africans. I think the problem is that the public discourse is run by white capitalists. And we get influenced by petty things. Zuma suddenly is this big monster, the worst the country ever had. I don't buy those things. I know what these boys are capable of. I've been in their prison, I've been in death row, I've been engaging with them, I know what they're capable of. They are racist, they are fascist. But we are not running the media space. We are very terrible at it. And that influences sentiment, that influences opinion. You see? If you look at Genco, just on the ESCOM thing, Genco in the last 15 years, I'm not talking in the last 40 years, in the last 15 years, made 350 billion from ESCOM. The Guptas have made 10 billion. They're blaming the Guptas for state capture. There is Genco, 350 billion. Just the last, not even the last 40 years. But what dominates is the Guptas and not Genco. You see? Because people like you, who we require in the media space, are also struggling. Because the only way you're going to change this mood and discourse and opinion, public opinion, if we have voices out there every day. And that is what we need to do. You see? I've been telling Jeff, GCIS is dead. Let's get GCIS to do the work that is. Why don't we put GCIS under you instead of that department? Because that department of communications, I rather want to see it under Jeff. No, Jeff had to take over cabinet briefings because we were fucking up. But we're not good at propaganda. Every day there's disinformation, deception, propaganda hits us. And we're not just hit from here, from the West as a whole. And they're only punishing us because we never ever agreed with the West on many things. We always align ourselves with the Eastern countries. Russia, China, India, you see. And for that we are being good. I love the terrible life, not just me, many. I've lost so many friends. I can tell you that Southern Africa, Swaziland, Lesotho, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Malawi, even up to Congo, Angola, I used to operate in those countries and couldn't move. It was the most landmine continent in the whole world. The Cold War played itself. I met Russians, Americans, British spies, all over. The most spies during the Cold War was in Southern Africa. That's why I'm so peaceful. But I can tell you that power is, especially economic power, people will destroy you because of economic power. If we don't change this, this force will be gone. Will be dead. And in South Africa, not unfortunately, the struggle here, in Angola it's different. Mozambique it's different. Here it's white and black. Anything that's black and talent, they wipe out.
So what are you guys doing about it?
No, that's why we must talk. That's the relationship I want to build with people who understand the leader space. Because unfortunately, our unit is not. Okay. So when are you making your first meeting?
Excuse me?
When are you meeting?
Monday was YS going to Gallagher.
Huh?
YS meeting the people at Gallagher because they said they're going to tell him which chair.
I don't know why you must allow these men to be alone. Why don't you go together?
Maybe then why doesn't want this part of this negotiation.
But they can't take those decisions by themselves.
I will check this what we need.
Bye.
Look, we can turn it around, but it needs resources. I don't want to have a situation again, what happened. We can turn it around. I was trained in propaganda, deception, which is subterfuge in political warfare, propaganda, spy works, everything. I know what needs to be done. But I left it, I thought that Joe and Chaka would do it together. If I had the resources, we would be way ahead now. But it's becoming increasingly difficult
What is making it difficult?
because of public perception. We're not going to lose 2019. I'm telling you now, we're not going to lose. We will win, but we'll win narrow, and I don't want that. We can get 63% in 2019 if we can change the public perception. Because a lot of it is perception, it's not even real. I mean, here in South Africa, we had 45% of the population electrified in 94. We now have 98%. We went into load shedding because our bulk program, together with the rollout, was not equilibrium. There was no equilibrium. We go into load shedding. But we went into load shedding not because there was no supply. Glencore deliberately went into a slowdown on production of coal. Brian Molifi gets in Eskom. In 2 months, load shedding stopped. What did they do to Brian? They removed him. Using one of our own, a black person, to deal with it. Did he not stop load shedding? Did he not turn around Eskom? But what is the perception that there is corrupt? Because dare to take on white capitalism. You know, I have a grandmother, maternal, who's white. I have a grandmother, paternal, who's Indian. So I know what racism is. Because my grandfather got my two grandmothers got like excluded from their families. My grandfather was told whatever cut he was told. I grew up in a political home. problem in South Africa is race. Not class, it's race. My grandmother was white. Her family, and even at her death, they did not come to a marriage. So she married a couple. They declared a persona non grata. She didn't even inherit anything. But she didn't care. Because for her it was about the struggle, about life, her dignity, and her love for her husband. So South Africa has a race problem, not a class problem. Class is there, but the worst problem is still race. If you open papers, why is it so bad news every time? There are more rapes in USA, but we are made the rape capital of the world. I studied in the US. I can tell you, it's bad. Drugs. It's of the worst in the world, but when you read South African newspapers, you think we are the worst. You see, when that movement now, there's one woman I studied with at Harvard. She's leading this Black Lives Matter movement. So they're very creative in their media, don't you think so? They're good with their media, right?
Yeah.
She was telling me, yes, but we look to South Africa. You guys have done remarkably well, but yet the stories that come out are bad. You are 5 times better than what's happening to African Americans and Hispanic Americans. Now they even fear now it could be worse with Trump. You see? But when you pick up South African, especially print, social media we can still run, television, radio is still okay. But print, yeah. Then New Age starts. And because it's not old media, it's new media, it's trying to put a different spin, they go for that. You see? So that's how big a thing. That's how big. So I really want to work with this. But I don't want to have a contract when I must pay you. I want to have the money and say, this is what I have, this is what I want. Otherwise, we're going to always fight. And you get fight it.
It's a tough world for a black woman. You learn how to fight.
Look, I could appreciate, I could see what was happening. You were in those meetings. I kept asking. Because I really believed in it, because I worked very close with his father. Not with him. I worked more close with Joseph's father than with him. So I really believe that he will pull it off. But he just had to say to me, Nash, I will not succeed. Because, many people promise you. I mean, that guy did promise. I heard the guy. But he did not deliver. You see, people promise you. But I don't want that. That's why I don't want, I think it was maybe inappropriate for him to expect one person to pay. Or then when that person can't, he goes to another one, pay this. If you say, can you contribute 50 here, another one 50, it becomes more palatable. It's not a big hole, you see. Then they're more willing to give. Now I think I must teach Joe that don't expect one person to give the whole amount. Not gonna happen. Not easy. Not everybody is Patrice Mitchell. You see, who can give a big amount without. You see? So take a 50 here, take a 50 there, take a 50 there, take 100 there, then you make up the amount. Instead of relying on just a quick fix. Doesn't work like that. I know, I've worked with this field. But I really thought he was pretty off. But I'm not gonna write him off. He's my friend. I've been close to the Karaman family for years. When I went into exile, his father looked after me. So I can't dump him, even if he gets the wrong side of the upper, you know? Because I was very, very close to his father. So unfortunately, his father now is Alzheimer's. It's very close to his dad. It was my dad and his dad. But look, I'll rush it, I'll push it, I'll push it and push it. I'll get it. So I have another 2 meetings tomorrow, then Monday, Tuesday, another 2 like that. So I'm not asking them much for this, you know, that I can program.
Are you going to wait for it to get to the full one, or are you going to send it as you get it?
I want to push it to the one. That's what I want to do. But I'll give you the whole. We can look. Look, remember, also, I'm very careful. I don't want comebacks. You know, I've been in prison for a long time. Prison is not easy. I don't want us to go there. And you know, somebody might just not like you. You know, politics is dirty. And they decide to go for me. So I must also be careful how I do. I'm very careful with those things. Not that I'm doing anything illegal. I'm also very, very. That's why I don't want to deal with people who are bad. People who are bad can give me that money tomorrow, but you must know that they're going to control you. I don't want that. That's what I run away from it because I don't want to be controlled. I also have a family legacy to protect. You see, because both my mom and dad struggled, they were communists, they brought us up with good values. I don't want to. I can call tomorrow, I can tell you I'll have the whole amount. But they're going to want something in return. And that's what I want. Because it does compromise. And once somebody owns you to control you, and I don't want that. I have too much of a legacy. Not my own, but my family. But we'll get there. I'll push it. Because now I'm running it myself. That's what I wanted to tell you. But you didn't want to come and meet me. But I can appreciate, yes, you're angry, but it's not how many times you fall. It's how many times you get up. Remember, Madiba? That's what it was. You know, when I was on trial for serious charges facing the window, he wrote me a note from home. Said, face them, hold up your head, don't let them punish you. You did the right thing. I would have done it. And if I ever chose to do it again, all over again, I would do it again. So, Rafael, that was my end of the continue the fight. You know that note? Yes. Knowing that I can hang. Yes. Inspired. You can just have more Matidas. Just have more Matidas. Now when you didn't look at your spelling,
No, that's what you all do. Because it's strictly Bulani we're talking.
Communications.
Kissing that one. Kissing that one. You mean that one there? That's funny. And.
then yeah, they,
And.
yeah, that's right.
That's shit, if I when you change this communication and stuff, change and
I ran this boxing academy when I was in education. I went to visit
where?
in Hillbrow. He was doing wonderful work, but he was a professional boxer and they attacked him one night. And you see that? You saw. But he runs for young kids, both boys and girls. You see that?
Criminals.
Yeah, they attacked him and nothing. But he runs very good programs in Hillbrow with young boys and girls boxing. But he teaches them discipline. When they come from school, they do their homework there, he supervises. He was a professional boxer when he got marked, and he had to quit. They fucking left him for dead. But he's doing good with this. I help raise funds for, even now, like we're having a Christmas party with him next week. But I like got some friends to sponsor. Amazing work. But he was looking as they left him for just imagine him in the prime of your life. The mud will almost kill him. He took out his eye. Hey, you can just stop us. You know, I don't fear guns, eh? Because I trained. But a knife. Hey, I can't take a knife.
There's something so gruesome
It's easy.
and intentional about
Yes.
it.
I can't take a knife. Yes. And you know, in the areas I grew up, in the colored areas, like, it's like, it was the in thing, you know, knives. But I just could never. I just couldn't. I just couldn't. I just couldn't. Okay. Joburg still attracts, huh? Even if people, it's like LA. Huh? You know, in LA, everybody still goes with chasing this dream of, and then they end up in the streets. Now Joburg is like this. Huh? But he was a good boxer. Besides your communications, what else do you do? Just focus on that. Just on that. Where did you start?
Boston Media House and Vega.
You know, I used to lecture. When I came from prison, before untraining, I lectured at Wits and then what was called, it's now YouTube.
Lectured on what?
When I retire, I might go back. Communications, marketing, and political science.
Really?
The Mandan King, that is how the witnesses.
Huh?
Mandan King.
No, you can sign.
The Mandan.
Why?
Well, fine, but it's fine.
You don't need that. You don't need that.
Tell me about it.
asking you.
Yeah. But
Why
he,
is he not been answering my phone?
I don't know. He was running around with UJ. But the other
Yeah,
issues.
you must come and report. So you keep on, I'll keep on. Okay, all right. You'll report now. This is it, then this is key. We're just solving a problem. I want you never to sign as witnesses. You can read before you sign so that you know I'm not taking it.
Being a part of our security arrangements at ANC events. We're working on January 8th. Right in Orlando.
Yeah. Witnesses are never affected. It's only the people who sign on top. Still sign as one compliance. Okay, let me just finish that.
I'll get it out of the...
So look, let me finish this, and then I'm going to sit with you and give you a bit of deeper insight to what we will roll out from January in terms of reversing the decline and growing again. And I'll give you a bit of let's first finish this so that you don't think I want to smash it further up. Huh? You must be my sister.
I will miss you.
Baba love.
Where is coming in?
No,